3 control matches in a row. Link me the VOD. Alright. Infect. This is a mechanic that is from the Phyrexia block. So these creatures deal damage in the form of 1/1 counters or infect damage to our opponent. And you kill your opponent by putting just 10 infect counters onto them. So Blighted Agent, Glistener Elf, Inkmoth Nexus. And then notably in the new set, we got Scale Up printed here, which turns the base power and toughness of one of your creatures into a 6/4. So basically, this is a 1-mana green spell that gives your creature +5 attack, which is a rate we haven't really seen before. Generally, like Groundswells and Might of Old Krosa, these are things that give +4/+4 for 1 mana, but the Scale Up gives +5 attack, which is a big deal. Let's dive on into some matches here and see how this goes. Yeah, seems super reasonable. Opening, having Dryad Arbor in your opener, like, always feels really bad. But we at least, like, our 6 cards are good, so this is definitely a keep. Depending on how this league goes, I might actually have time to get cards and play a 3rd Modern deck this morning. Was planning to do Modern until about 11:30. And I started early in that first deck, blew out in record fashion. Look at that. Look at that, I got a Waterlogged Grove here. It's exciting. Drew another land, but it gets to turn into something else. Oh, you know what? I'm probably supposed to play Heath and keep Blossoming Defense up here, right? Nope, didn't matter. God bless. +4/+4 spell. +4/+4 spell. Yay! Yay! Modern! Woo! Magic! What an incredibly interesting, interactive, and skill-testing game of Magic the Gathering my opponent and I have engaged in here. Nice Tarmogoyf. That's a sweet card, opponent. Let's go to the next game. I liked your sweet card, though. It was a lot of fun. Was it good for you, opponent? It was good for me. I got there. Full metal. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Whoop. Here's to make up for a bad red-green league. If we do another league, can we make it elves? Yeah, 10 out of 10. All right, so I don't think Nissa comes in against black-green. I think she's more for the blue control decks. I definitely want the Shaper Sanctuary. I think I want the Spellskite. Spell Pierce can probably go. You do bring in the Nissa here. Okay. Do I just trim some pump spells? Good to have you here, Prince Day. Yeah, artwork optional. Average concession has been about turn 2.5 today. God bless. Yeah, of course the red-green deck was bad. Did you look at it? Was it playing any good modern cards? Would you cut all the mites and leave in some spell pierces? I guess they're a Liliana deck. This card's pretty appealing against Liliana. Oh, that's my favorite take, Fulgrim. My tier 4 deck was only bad because I was playing the bad version of the tier 4 deck. No, I promise you it's tier 4 for a reason, and the version that I was playing had nothing to do with it. Iggy! Thanks for the 16 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Up, dude. Test message, please ignore. Alright, so flooding again a little bit, but we got a Waterlogged Grove. Alright, Fulgrim, listen. You know what? Here's the new rules. When we're playing Modern, if you have a mod sword next to your name, that means you should have been here long enough to know how to respond intelligently instead of just spewing at me. So if you have a mod sword and you spew while we're playing Modern, I'm gonna time you out. So if you want to do something like tell me a card I was testing is bad, spend a little bit of effort. Tell me what, oh no, I just friendly fired Demox. Oh no. Oh no. I added the quick frag buttons. I added the quick frag buttons back to my thing, and it's definitely gonna show. What's going on, Weeb? Thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I need to, what is it if you hold Alt or Scroll? It what if I profess an unhealthy love for a card that's virtually... That's fine. You're among friends here if you have an unhealthy love for unplayable Modern cards. It's basically a requirement to get in the door. I think I want to just play out a second threat here. Cries and Spellstutter Sprite. Yep. Cries and Spellstutter Sprite. Oh, my sweet fairy. What's going on, Maka? Good morning. Orzhov Pontiff one time. You're a monster. Oh no, not a plague engineer. It's a good thing all my creatures are different creature types, and that you missed a land drop. Jeskai or blue-white? I think Jeskai and blue-white are both fine. I would just recommend playing 4 copies of Terminus. Terminus is great, chat. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Oh, it has Death Touch. Alright. I think I still want to trade there, but I definitely didn't realize it has Death Touch. Alright. I've been taught the lesson. I was the old man all along. The number of Infect counters currently on my opponent is this really tiny number up here in the corner. So they'd have been dead this turn if I'd Mutagenic Growth my Inkmoth. Yeah, without another human in my hand, that was probably a bad play on my part. Yeah, I think we're dead from here. I don't know that I like cutting all the copies of Become Immense from this archetype. Become Immense is definitely... Scale Up doesn't do it. Scale Up's only +5. Oh, it is. Scale Up does do it. I'm dumb. It does 6 roll. It's +5. It doesn't put you to 5. Yeah, you're right. Scale Up is still good. Yeah, I don't know that I like cutting all the Become Immenses. Like, your graveyard's frequently full. Like, drawing the second Become Immense often sucks, so I think you could go down to 2. But, like, Become Immense is real strong. I'm gonna run it back. I probably would have killed them there if I'd have used my Mutagenic Growth better. If I'd have not used my Mutagenic Growth to trade off for their Plague Engineer, I think I would have killed them the previous turn there. They could have also had that Fatal Push already, so like maybe it wasn't lethal, but I definitely think I did not play optimally. Could we have fetched Dryad Arbor to chump? Yeah, we totally could have. Maybe this is wrong. So, like, I think it's right to play this on 1, because they have more discard spells than Fatal Pushes in their deck, with certainty. Well, they have Path in their deck, too. Yikes. Thanks for the land. Enjoy your stay. This is what we call never punished. Yeah, exactly. Hey, F Weasel. Thank you for the biddies. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good morning. Gonna go ahead and pass here, I think. Maybe I'm supposed to opt there, actually. Because if I hit, like, an Inkmoth Nexus, I'm pretty happy to get it into play. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to opt there. Alright, well, that was fun. I guess we could draw Inkmoth. Maybe infinite turns from now. So, one of the problems with this archetype, so a lot of people talk about, when I talk about decks like Dredge and Amulet Titan, and if I talk about things like, when I talk about things like Dredge and Amulet Titan, there's a lot of mouth breathers that like to make bad faith arguments that talk about, well, Jeff, you just hate all combo decks in Modern. And I actually think decks like Infect and Splinter Twin, and this is why I really loved Modern before Splinter Twin was banned and have liked it a lot less afterwards. Decks like Splinter Twin and Infect, in my opinion, are ideal decks to have be the best combo decks in the format, because decks like Splinter Twin and Infect care about discard, counter spells, and creature removal on top of various hate cards like Spellskite. So there are just so many axes of interaction when you're playing against decks like this, as opposed to things like Dredge and Tron, where you need very specific targeted hate to be competitive against them. Whereas decks like this just care about cards that are just generic cards you're playing in Modern anyways. Which, in these interactive matchups, makes this archetype much, much worse than something like, say, Dredge, or Bridgevine, where you need a very specific, narrow subset of cards to be interactive with it. Is this the same person? It is not. We are playing against a second person playing maybe Abzan, maybe Black-White with Mishra's Bubble. It doesn't need Life Burgle. Ooh. They are dead next turn if they have no interaction. They need double interaction or a discard spell. And again, it's worth noting, while we lost that first match 1-2, I definitely punted the second game. Very, very good chance that we should have won that 2-0 and not had a third game to get blown out in. They binned Ashiok Dreamrender. Deal. Kale, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Target you, Pikachu. Oh, I shouldn't have. This is the same as Exalted, right? I guess it diversifies my threats a bit. Now I don't have lethal through a removal spell. Yeah, I messed that up. Hey, Niv, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know that I'm supposed to go for it there or not. So, like, if I had gone for it there and with the ability to beat one removal spell, I'd have actually lost the game. So, like, maybe activating Inkmoth was fine ultimately if I wasn't going to go all in. There's probably an argument that I'm supposed to go all in there, honestly. And like I said, this is just a good example of talking about all the various things that this archetype cares about that make it, on average, one of the decks that's not a forerunner in Modern compared to decks like Amulet and Tron and Bridgevine and Dredge, these decks that require very narrow, specific answers. Pump spell? Pump spell? Pump spell? 2, 3, 4, 7. You're dead. I can't. How would it have worked out better, Angel Havoc? Explain to me. Because obviously I don't think it worked out better. So explain to me what I'm missing. Please, please, and thank you. That's an interesting thought. Sure. So if we lead on Blossoming Defense, that means we lose the Blossoming Defense instead of the Scale Up. The way it worked out, my play actually ended up being significantly better against double removal spell. Yeah, the way it worked out, my play actually, that looked kind of boneheaded on the surface, actually ended up being ideal against double removal spell. I don't know if my play was right at the time. Like, there's probably an argument to just making them have it there. But the way the cookie ended up crumbling, I actually ended up in an okay spot because of what I did. I'm just going to board the same way as last time. Nissa, Spellskite, Shaper Sanctuary. Trim around some of these pump spells basically in the Dismember. Noob Ally, thanks for the 4 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's actually not what happened. So if I Blossoming Defense, they path my thing, and then I go to scale up the other thing. I don't know. I'm just tired of. I'm just tired of it all. Stop asking me questions about a situation that I don't know 100% the specifics of. Don't say, Jeff, would this thing have worked? Explain why it worked. Because obviously I took the line I took because I thought it was the best line. So if you want to tell me my line was shit, be a helpful, constructive person and explain why it was bad. Opponent mulligan to 4. We mulligan to 6. Our hand's actually very good. Being extra threat dense in a matchup like this tends to be where you want to be in life. Last time you screwed on a light bulb, I think you could have done it 2 turns faster. Thoughts? I agree with your conclusion. I'm going to lead on this, actually, I think. Ideally, I'd like to protect this one. That's actually pretty good. Kills both of these when they find a land. I think I actually want to play Blighted Agent here because of this. Yeah, I agree, Prince Day. And again, like, I think a lot of people, and this is something that a lot of other streamers do, like, a lot of people like to speak like they're experts on these decks that they've never played before, and, like, I've played some amount of Infect, but I'm definitely not an expert. So, like, don't expect me to justify lines that I take from an expert's position, but also, if you're gonna come at me and say, Jeff, you messed up, like, help me learn, don't just be like, you messed up, Jeff. Be like, Jeff, this is wrong, and this is why it was wrong. These are the things you should be considering. Scale up is a sorcery. Yeah, we won that second match. I think we probably would have won the first one with a better line, too. Pretty easy mulligan here. No Infector in the opener. I can't really. I don't think I can keep this on the play, right? Because, like, if I scry a threat to the top, I can't play Noble Hierarch on one. It seems like the best of the ones we've looked at. We died to Hoggark with the terrible red-green deck we started the day with. Morning, Angel. A deck with extreme matchups is statistically better than one with even matchups. Yeah, I'd believe that. That's an article that validates my gut feelings. I haven't read it, no. But like, as far as like what decks are good in Modern are concerned, that kind of goes along with that conventional wisdom. I'd love to draw a land here so we can play this with Blossoming Defense up. So like, this is a decision point where like, I choose to play this because if, while putting it into play means it dies to a removal spell, waiting to play it means I lose to a counter spell. And there's probably equal parts removal spells and counter spells in my opponent's deck, and the upside of getting it into play is higher than the downside. If there's downside for both, yeah, there's that too, Burgle. They also have pressure in play. So like, not only do they have pressure, but there's a high upside to just getting this down. You've got a Hex Drinker. Alright, one of your finest Mutagenic Growths, please. Spell Pierce. That'll do, Pig. Getting Logic Knotted. So, unfortunately, a land short of killing them here. I'm going to hold on to this Mutagenic Growth for now, I think. In case they have something weird like a Burst Lightning or a Forked Bolt or something along those lines. Is it Charm? Yep. Number of 2 damage things that could be in our future that Mutagenic Growth like hedges against. Renin 6. Renin 6 deals 1 damage. Unimonkey, thank you for the 2-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Did we miss lethal or do I not know how scale? You must not know how scale up works because we were not in the realm of lethal. Actually, we should enter combat first here in case they have a cryptic command and want to tap draw my team. I think I'm okay losing to double removal here. Their clock is pretty quick, and we're dead to double bolt anyways, just like going upstairs here. I guess that's fair. That's fine. They have to have double bolt to kill us here, or like bolt snap bolt. I guess cryptic command also. They were countering the scale up, Mage. That's true. We're dead to Bolt in a land because of level up. Hey, Ian. Thanks for the 39 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Am I dead yet? Oh, and this only needs to get to 3, right? Yep. It's not bad. We mulliganed to 5 that game, right? Sounds right. I'm really confused why this card's in the sideboard. I feel like this is worse than Dispel in a lot of situations and worse than Spell Pierce. I'm really not convinced this is a modern playable card. Like, this is like a counter spell that's good against other counter spells, and like there just aren't that many counter spells in this format. The answer to will Jeff play X deck on stream should always be answered by submitting the deck using the form on my website. Never say yes or no to things without seeing it. Yeah, so like what's the theory craft behind it, Erdian? Like where do we, so like sure it's worth testing, but like where in theory is it better than these other cards that we could already be playing? I think Mutagenic Growth, I guess we did talk about them potentially having 2 damage things, so maybe this is fine. I really feel like this card kind of has diminishing returns without Become Immense to power out. This is probably a Shaper Sanctuary matchup, huh? I think I just go low on Pump here. It's better than Spell Pierce if we play a Pump spell and then they have a removal spell. Okay, I can see that. I think I keep this one. I think we keep this one. Yeah, like, this isn't a keep at 7, but at 6, it's like, this probably beats my average 5 in an interactive matchup. And now that I hit this, I think I lead on these. Just want to, like, get max value. I'm going to be incredibly sad if they have a Blast Zone or an Engineered Explosives. Gosh, Blast Zone was bad news bears for this archetype too, huh? I think I'm incredibly unlikely to untap with a Hierarch. All right. We've been Force of Willed for the first time. They pitched a Snapcaster Mage, so that seems like a W for us in the long term. I mean, to be fair, the Shaper Sanctuary is probably gonna like 2 or 3 for 1 them, right? Hey, Wabwin, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub for 16 months at that. Hope you're having a good start to your week. Welcome. I like the me. In fact, that's the reason why. So most all of the sponsorships that I sign myself, like the classes, I tend to use their products myself firsthand and make sure that they feel reasonable to me. I prefer not to sell things that are terrible. It's easier to sell things that are nice as well. So these glasses that I am wearing now are one of their products, and I wore them for about a week before I agreed to sign on to advertise with them. I think we're actually going to get Christy a pair once she gets her prescription updated. Hey, Torcat. Thanks for 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Riska, thanks for the 2 months. Do you use a slight? No, these are just blue light filtering lenses. Hey, look at that. My Inkmoth Nexus drew an Inkmoth Nexus. Your move, Yugi boy. Ugh. Well, that's a completely reasonable and beatable magic card. So I'm going to do this. You're just going to crack them for a bunch this turn, huh? Just get this in while the getting is good. It's like 5, 6, 7, put them to 8. And then I have 2 Inkmoths and a Pendelhaven next turn. Chewy, the answer to your question is always, if it's not on YouTube, we haven't played it. If it's not on my website, we haven't played it. Everything we play goes to both of those places. Cryptic Command's a bit of a worry from this position. We could definitely lose a race to a Cryptic Command. They're going to get to flip over and kill a Noble Hierarch here, but I'll still get to use that Noble to activate an Inkmoth Nexus, and I'll draw a card. Oh, that's true. We do beat Cryptic. That's true, because we have 2 of these. Good call. I would love to draw a card. It's a big worm. The worm doesn't even matter, right? Does it matter? Worm potentially lets me beat a removal spell. So, like, if I just attack and they have a lightning bolt, they kill my thing and we lose. So I think I want to scale up here. Worm doesn't just get them a 2-for-1 with Cryptic. Because if I scale up here, if I scale up and they kill it, they have to have removal plus Cryptic here. And even then, I get to draw a card off the removal spell. And like, if they just go to Cryptic, tap this, Haven then attack means I don't kill them through a single removal spell, chat. And I'm dead on board on the backswing here. Without throwing these away as chump blockers. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to scale up so I beat a removal spell, because this also beats Cryptic Tap Your Team. I'm not beating Cryptic Bounce my thing here, unless I draw a protection spell. I don't beat that removal spell by pumping. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't do budget decks, Gorks. Especially budget tier 2 decks like decks like Bant Eldrazi already struggle to be fully competitive in Modern. So, taking a deck that's like already maybe not competitive and then making it worse due to budget is just not something I'm interested in really doing. Now, even though they're attacking for 6 here, I do need to block because the Huntmaster is going to flip over and do 2 more. It's not going to flip. That's good for us. Why was it wrong to play the creatures and flip the Huntmaster, Time Lord? Why do I want them to have a 4/4 trample? Why do I care about a 2/2 wolf that's never going to attack me? Gives them the chance to flip it back, but do I really care about them flipping it back on this board state when I have them dead next turn? Them flipping it back arguably gives me more chances here. They're dead, right? I block here, I take 4. I kill them in the air. They only have 1 mana up. If we had activated 1 more Inkmoth to attack, we had 4 mana, we would have been able to leave up Pendelhaven and Inkmoth. If they Cryptic tap, we can activate the third. The third Inkmoth was summoning sick, Burgle. If the third Inkmoth wasn't summoning sick, you'd be right, but the third one I had played for the turn. Yeah. Ooh, Flusterbuster. So I attack with both of these, because if they kill one, I Pendelhaven the other, and then they take 2 and they die. I also have a Flusterstorm in the mix here. I think we're going to the 3rd game now. I don't remember. I don't remember if this was game 2 or 3. I think it was 2. I think it was 2. It was definitely 2. Okay, good. Excellent. Oh, yeah, we lost the close one where we mulled the 5 in the game 1. Got it. That depends on your definition of interesting. Bridgevine got turbocharged with the addition of the 8/8 that was printed into the format. Is Altar of Dementia a new card? Was that a new one? Or is that a card that's like been in Modern? Is it new to Modern? I know it's a reprint, but it was printed in this most recent set, is my question. Yeah, I've been pretty consistently underwhelmed by Esper Hero. And I know, like, it's won a bunch of tournaments, but, like, that's probably just a sign that there's a lot of good decks in the format. Scouty McScout coming in hot with the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome. Hope you're having a swell Monday. Thanks for keeping me around. I'm going to be honest, I didn't realize that the altar was printed in Horizons. I just assumed it was some messed up old artifact that we hadn't tried for a long time. Like the 8/8 made people realize, oh, we should try this. If we hit some running lands here, we're in a good spot. Did I end up playing Feather at the tournament? Well, the tournament's this weekend, and I am planning to play the Feather deck there, yes. In fact, that's why we're playing the Naya deck again today, so I can get some more practice in with it. Your account was hacked. Listen, I feel like I should make this statement a couple times per stream. If you care about your Twitch account and you don't have two-factor authentication enabled, go into your account and enable two-factor authentication right now. It takes 30 seconds. You just get a text message when you log in or someone else logs in. Lots of Twitch accounts have been getting broken into. And lots is anecdotal, but like double digits worth of my own subscribers have mentioned they've gotten their accounts broken into. My own account has been attempted to be broken into and two-factor stopped them from getting in. It does not seem like it is a small problem. Yeah, we're dead here. This Graves a 5/6. Needed to hit that land on too. How's Modern going? It's going all right. The first deck we played was a dumpster fire, but I was expecting it to be a dumpster fire. We're 1-2 with this, but I probably could have been 2-1 with slightly better play in this first match. I don't know that I'm a huge fan of Infect overall. Infect feels like it's too fair for Modern as far as Infect goes in my experience playing it. Like, this deck just cares about too much of our opponent's interaction. Lord of the Pearl Trident, thanks for the 9 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Is Burn the better linear aggro strategy? Yeah, I would prefer to play Burn over playing Infect, I think. Came in. Thank you for the 3rd of year support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Yeah, that doesn't work, Scouty, because then they can cryptic us pre-combat and we lose. Yeah, the Ren deck had like 0 constructed playable cards in it. It was real bad. It had like Lightning Bolt and it had Faithless Lootings that had no way to abuse them. Alright. Spellskite into kill you on 3 here, hopefully. I think I'm going to sneak Modern Elves into today as a 3rd Modern deck, just because these first 2 have gone really quickly. I'm planning to do Modern until 11:30 or so every day, depending on how long the leagues take. Just turned on two-factor to ensure all my bits go to building Huglandia. Yeah, so part of the reason why people have been attacking Twitch accounts is to steal bits. They cheer bits to specific channels and to steal Twitch Prime subscriptions. So they're getting actual money out of breaking into it. No, the Ren deck was a total dumpster fire. If you're interested in a potentially competitive Ren deck, I think Ren is likely very reasonable inside of the Naya Landfall deck that we've played a bunch in the past. And that one is in the deck queue that I think we're going to get to this week. Maybe. I plan to do at least 2 Modern decks a day this week, so we're gonna get to a reasonable number. All right, if we draw a green source, we can kill them next turn. And like maybe you could argue bidding the land or bottoming the land on one was wrong or greedy, but I don't know. Felt good at the time. My opponent starting their 4th turn here. Incredibly slow draw on both sides. Yeah, Thursday I was just a little bit off and decided to take the day. Friday was kind of miserable. It was a reminder of a lot of the shortcomings of Magic Online. And then for people who don't keep up on the news, if you need insight into the wonders that is Magic Online, the Magic Online Championship Series tournament that happened on Saturday crashed mid-tournament and they had to refund everybody's entry fee and they're comping them 3 packs of Modern Horizons. Tournament just straight up crashed. Three whole packs, yes. So if you set your entire day aside to play in a Magic Online tournament and then said it is 0 forever, and then said tournament crashed on you, Wizards of the Coast decided 3 packs that cost them $0 to give you is what your entire day was worth to them. The Magic Online Championship Series has crashed. Is it happening in 2019 or is it 2014 or 2015 when Kibler wrote a scathing blog post about it? When was that actually? Kibler Mox crash. When did that happen? November 20. It was older than I thought. November 2013. 6 years ago. 6 years ago, the Mox crashes and Kibler writes a scathing blog post. Happens again in 2019. Welcome to Thunderdome. That game we played there truly embodied the modern experience. My opponent and I stared deeply into each other's eyes while we waited to raise our hand when we got there, and we raised our hand first, so we won. I think I'm bringing in the Deliverance because it can kill the altar, but it also just cycles when we don't want that. So it's like pretty similar to Opt. See you in 21-25 for the next crash, yep. You know, it's kind of funny / sad in a way, because like if I had jumped out of Magic and like gone and streamed a bunch of Hearthstone, I wouldn't have had almost anything bad to say about Magic over the years, because a lot of the negative things I've had to say surrounding Magic surround this application because, well, it's always been Magic Online, whereas like Arena's pretty awesome, right? So if I would have just taken the smart line and abandoned Magic for many years, I'd have been much easier to work with. This hand's kind of mediocre. The double Pendelhaven really sucks. I only have 1 threat. I guess it's a pretty good threat. I'm going to keep. I do not want another Vines. Something that'll be interesting to see. I wonder if we'll see. Yeah, the 5-card hand is good. That's a fair assessment. I agree. I wonder if we're going to see some of the MPLs streaming some more Magic Online as they practice for Mythic Championship 4. Because MC4 is Modern plus Modern Horizons draft. So you can't practice either format on Magic Arena. Smothering Storm and Amnesia Control will do 0. Thanks for keeping me around. Thanks for the biddies. Yep. Gosh. My opponent only put 7 power into play on turn 2. What an incredibly slow, fair, and balanced turn. You call yourself a modern deck opponent? I don't have time to hold up protection for this, so let's play this and pass. Hope it doesn't die. Hope my Blighted Agent doesn't die. Hope we don't die. There's a lot of hoping and a praying over here. I think in their contracts they have to play a certain amount of arena. Maybe. We'll see. I wonder if it specifies arena or if it just specifies Magic. Yeah, definitely. I have a PO box. You just need to make sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope to return the cards, or donate enough for me to pay to mail them back to you. Also, let me know when you mail me cards to my PO box, because I don't always check my PO box. Usually it's like once a month, if that, unless I'm expecting something. Najo Mage, thank you for the tier 2. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Let me know for sure which deck you'd like to bump up with your tier 2 as well, Mage. All right, scale up. Let's go. Scale up. Let's go. Mutagenic Growth. Let's go. Scale up. Let's go. That's conflicting with what I heard. I heard they had to do 400 hours for the year. Sorry I used a bad word, chat. Please forgive. Thanks for the big biddies on this Monday morning, Kennedy. Alright, so I think I attack with this and just hope I don't die next turn. Hope this block is good enough. Watercast, thanks for the 7 months. And then next turn I kill them with Might plus Vines. But there is a good chance I die this turn. Am I dead to a land? Not quite. Oh, yeah, I am. Makes another 2/2. Listen, my opponent didn't kill me till turn 4, okay? Their deck is incredibly slow, fair, and balanced. As far as games of Modern are concerned, this one was really long. Thankfully, we get to be on the play this game, so we can kill them on turn 3 or turn 4 before they do it to us. That's the turn Mono Raid kills in Standard. I don't know what you all are complaining about. This hand's real good. Important note, if Infect cannot outlinear an uninteractive deck, it is unplayable. This is literally the matchup it's bred for. However, it's also worth noting the general explosiveness of our deck goes down when we trim Become events, which is probably a mistake. Yeah, I think that's one of my takeaways from playing this. Scale up feels good. But I miss Become events. I feel like we can play both. Yeah, I feel like 3 scale up to Become is probably fine. Yeah, scale up keeps all the abilities on the creature. All right. So fingers crossed we get a 3rd turn and kill them on our 3rd turn. Fingers crossed they die next turn. But we might not get a next turn. So let's see. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. Look at that. Good, clean turn 5 win. I took 3 turns. They took 2 turns. 3 plus 2 is 5. Yeah, I agree, Dingo. We definitely have not hit maximized Bridgevine decks yet, and when we do, it's going to be scary. Yeah, you see, MK, Modern's a turn 4 format, so if I don't say 3 plus 2 is 5, if I say we killed them on turn 3, that's pushing a narrative that Wizards doesn't like. So I have to toe the company line, you know? Don't want to say anything that might make them upset with me. Wouldn't want to imply Modern games frequently end on turns 2 and 3. Sip the Jack, you can watch us play a really sad set of games with updated blue-red tempo from Saturday night stream. You can find it on my YouTube channel on my website. It's too early to try and go on the regular damage plan. Are we gonna call this Hogak Summer? Doesn't roll off the tongue like Eldrazi Winter. Maybe. It's gonna be genuinely interesting to see if the Hogak deck survives to be legal for the Pro Tour this summer. No, the donation price for Legacy has never been was never based on like what the league costs to play. Like 4 versus like $12 versus 8 is pretty negligible. The reason why I charge more for Legacy leagues is because they're just not as popular in terms of content. So I charge more for Legacy because less people are interested in seeing it played. So if the videos appeal to fewer people, I charge more to make them. People frequently don't submit Legacy decks because a lot of the good decks that are playable in Legacy just like are kind of dry to play with. Gosh, I can almost overload this scale up. And the other kids told me that was a pipe dream. This card being a sorcery feels real bad here. Because if I scale up again, they just throw away Selfless Spirit or this. It doesn't really do anything, right? Three, 7, 9. We could technically overload the scale up, yep. Yeah, probably, Boda. Hey, Dantos, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Maybe they have nothing, chat. Maybe they're dead. I don't really have very good cards for this matchup. Extra Dismember seems fine, I guess. Spellskite's okay. My counter spells don't really line up well into their spell quellers. Yeah, I agree, Gorks. The list we're going to play today, I've been testing 3 Vivian's Arc Bow in the sideboard, and I've been pretty happy with that addition in the matches I played over the weekend off stream. I don't think Nissa's very good because I can't really protect her from their flying threats. I like your alt art Dismembers. They are premium altars, Wannabe Beetle. Is there a reason why we didn't? Because it didn't matter, Chewy? Because my opponent was at 9, and it wasn't lethal without both pump spells anyway, so it's just irrelevant. So I didn't bother to activate it because it didn't matter. It seems pretty good. Threat into threat protection into pump spell. You don't need to adjust your dial. This card is missing art for everyone. Let's call it a Magic Online feature. Huh? I'm just gonna fire this up and attack them. So it doesn't have art. Can you still call it Moto because it seems to be missing digital objects? That's a good, that's like a if a tree falls in the woods does it make a sound type question. Maybe we can type in the cards. Can I still type in my opponent's timer? Of course I can still type in their timer. Can I type in mine? LOL. LOL, of course I can type in my timer. This application's great. Immortal! Feels like a lifetime with Twitch time with Jeff. Put my sub points towards something sweet. We'll do Immortal. And thank you for the tier 2. Welcome back. Hope life's treating you well. I think I want to burn this Groundswell to punch through this. I feel like this match is a good example of, like this set of games, honestly, like we ran into 4 interactive decks in this league, and it's just such a good example of why Infect kind of struggles in this format, because this archetype just cares about too many things. You care about creatures blocking you, you care about removal spells, you care about discard spells, counter spells. It's just like so many things screw with your game plan. Well, they have Knight of the Reliquary in their deck. Weird. That's not quite lethal, but it's close. Puts them to 8 poison. They have Ghost Quarter in play already. If they have a second Ghost Quarter or a Field of Ruin, we could maybe be in trouble here. They go after both my Nexus. Yeah, I'm a mana short of being able to activate and kick the Vines. Idle on, bro. Idle on, Tid. Ooh, that bodes well for our hero. So we play this Waterlogged Grove. Or that. We fire up both of these. We cast Vines of Vastwood. If they have a Spell Pierce or a Dispel, we lose. They have a counter spell. If they have like a Path to Exile, the Spellskite has that covered. So Vines protects from GQ. Scale of 1 to dead. Where are we at here? I would like to skite your spell, please. Part of me was hoping we'd be him Spellskite on the GQ. Yeah. Alright, so I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. Can we play not the ugly card game? What's going on at Left for 8 Gaming? Welcome back. We are going to be playing Moto until about 11 or so every day this week. I think I'm happy with our sideboard. As a heads up for people at home too, my schedule is going to be a little bit different this week. I'm going to be running later Monday through Wednesday this week. So I'm going to go until about 4:30 or 5 every afternoon for the first 3 days with Standard. And then Thursday I'm going to be ending early, and Friday I'm taking off. Christy, the tournament this weekend's actually being held at a water park hotel. So Christy and I are going up there a day early with the kids to play. Mojo, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So this is the last game in this league. I'm going to load up a third Modern League for this morning. I think it's correct to lead on Hierarch here, right? It's pretty unlikely that I'm going to be able to attack meaningfully next turn. I think I want a double spell in the face of a Spellqueller. Thought the water park. There was supposed to be a water park. They were supposed to have one earlier in the year at this venue, Beetle, and that one got canceled due to a scheduling conflict. I'm playing this weekend. It is a double Standard weekend, and I am planning to play the Naya Feather deck at it. I think I just want to slip Spellskite in here. Inkmoth at its worst against my opponent's deck full of flying creatures. More Land Haunt, especially, just like pretty terrible for us. I don't know what cards you're referring to, Savage. Wow, that's a bold attack. Scale up lethal 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not quite. Was that wrong to bottom? Maybe I'm supposed to keep that there. How come I decided on Feather over Black-Red Sacrifice? I think the power level of the Feather deck's a little bit higher. What are my thoughts on the new Hagak Bridge deck? Seems like another fantastic linear way to kill your opponents while ignoring what they're doing in Modern. AKA everything you want to be doing in this format. I elected to fetch a basic there, even though they're a path deck, because I wanted to preserve my health total a little bit. I really didn't want to fetch Shock again, especially with the Spellskite in play here. I think it would be dumb to invest money in. I think you should never think about the Magic cards you buy as an investment. You should think about them as something you'll enjoy playing with. If you're interested in investments, I'd recommend a Roth IRA or talking to a financial professional. Is there a reason we didn't Mutagenic Growth last attack? Is there a reason I should Mutagenic Growth on the last attack? Why do you feel I should Mutagenic Growth on the last attack? Rhythm of the Wild. I don't think Rhythm of the Wild's very good. I think Rhythm of the Wild's a card that doesn't have board presence on its own and requires you to draw it before you play all your other threats, making it kind of mediocre. So in response to this fetch, I'm going to Dismember the Spellqueller. Now, I think I just want to get my threats back here, Burgle. My current build of Hardened Scales? Yeah, Brick. As always, I'd encourage you to submit things using the form on my site if you ever have a question. But yeah, Hardened Scales is still fine. Just not sure how I'm ever going to cut through their blockers this game as part of the issue. And like, Scale Up just looking significantly worse than Become Immense here because it's not an instance. Yeah, I think I'm dead, Burgle. I don't think any of my decisions really mattered here, especially with them having another Spellcrawler in their hand. Outside of them making a pretty huge mistake, I feel like we're dead here. I feel like this league was a pretty fantastic example of why Infect is not a deck I would choose to play. Scale Up was better than Become Immense in some situations and worse in others. Oh, we're letting me block. That's exciting. Zendikar, thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Trying to predict what's going to happen with the modern ban list, you're better off playing a roulette table. It'll be easier to predict the outcome of a roulette table than what happens with the modern ban list. The way in which the modern ban list is applied is the furthest thing from consistent that you will find. Yay! We only lost $5. So, one of the big things I like to talk about, I'm talking about decks like this, is because people always like to say, well, you're just saying that because of your record. What I'm about to say is irrelevant about my record. My record in that league was 2-3. It very likely would have been 3-2 if I'd have played better in one of the matches. And my takeaway on the deck doesn't care about how many Moto points or gambling money I lost. I don't think this deck is good enough because it just cares about what it's doing ultimately doesn't feel powerful enough or consistent enough to offset the volume of interaction that is good against this deck. This is a combo deck that cares about blockers frequently. It cares about removal spells. It cares about discard spells. It cares about counter spells. It cares about removal spells. There's just too many ways to interact with this deck in this format, I think, and there aren't... the other linear decks that exist have gotten to points where they can race in a similar degree that this deck does, that I think this is not something that I would be comfortable playing. We're actually not going to be getting to Standard in 2 minutes. So this week, because we have new cards in Modern, I'm going to be spending a little bit more time this week since Standard's kind of at a low point between sets, focusing more on Modern. So we're going to be playing Modern until about 11:30. Every day this week, thereabouts, which is approximately 90 minutes to 2 hours from now. So I'm planning to do Standard from that time till about 4:30. As always, you can find my schedule on my website and my YouTube channel. That includes not only what days I'm intending to stream Magic, but also what formats I'm streaming and which time blocks on those days. Squibfish! Thank you for dropping off your Prime from the YouTube. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. And OKC Thunder, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate it. Yeah, I want 4 ley lines, Burgle. I want 4 ley lines. I think I'm gonna cut, like, I have three anti-graveyard cards in my sideboard here that we can easily get rid of. Yeah, I think I want a couple of Collector Ophies in here too. I want to give that card a try. So, rather than play a spell that gives Trample Weens, you play Distortion Strike, which we weren't very good at drawing that league, but there are Distortion Strike. Do I still want these main deck Scavenging Oozes in this deck is a good question. Do I still want the main deck Scavenging Oozes if I'm jamming 4 ley lines in the board? probably still fine. I'm going to Coward Split, Boreal, and Deep Shadow. I need to cut 3 cards from my sideboard. Cutting a Rex Sage seems fine. Cutting a Damping Sphere seems fine. I wonder if I trim the Lead the Stampede. Maybe I trim the last Lead the Stampede. It's probably not unreasonable. Just like pack more anti-unfair stuff. No, Moto doesn't change that quickly. We've played 8 matches this morning, and we've played the Hakag deck twice, which is a lot for Modern, but it's not every match. All right, let's export this. For those of you that haven't seen a longer Modern stream before, I have to take a second to go place an order with my sponsor, MTGO Traders, to get cards for this deck. So let's be a hot second while I swap some things around with them here. Sweet, everything's in stock. I think we're hopefully past the point of not being able to get things, which is nice. Traders is really good at their job for the most part. Usually keep things well in stock. God bless traders and services like them, by the way. Magic Online would be impossible to actually play Constructed on if we didn't have third-party services providing cards. Hey, Shellers, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. What's the thought process behind Boreal over Nettle Sentinels, Sentinels with Heritage Druid? So, your openers with Nettle Sentinel are only good when your deck is already good. All of your draws with Heritage Druid are pretty much great. So what Nettle Sentinel does is it makes your best draws better, while cards like Boreal Druid and Elves of Deep Shadow make your average draw better because you always want an acceleration in your opener. I've played, so I know a lot of the decks I play on this stream are viewer-submitted deck lists. I've played a lot of Elves. This is my competitive Modern deck of choice because it's super consistent and reasonably powerful. We're trying a couple of things from the new set in it today. These are my card choices here. Yeah, I split the Boreal Druids because we're taking extra damage from these peat lands. So I didn't want to take a ton of damage from my Mana Dorks as well. We've not played Ren with Loam. We played a red-green deck that had Ren but no Loam, and it was very bad. If you're newer to the channel and you haven't seen my Elves content, I'd encourage you to check out the Proven section on my website for Modern decks with the Elves deck in it. There's dozens of leagues up there with this configuration where you can see my card selections being relevant. Maybe for a larger donation, Aaron, but generally speaking, I avoid playing decks like that for minimum amounts just because they're kind of miserable to click through. Also, like Edgar said in his tweet, that deck needs updates for the new set. That was relatively quick.